Hey, what is going on, everybody? Dropship Tyler here. And today I have somebody on who is going to talk with me about a website they created that helps you hire qualified virtual assistants. Now, for everybody that watches my channel, they know that virtual assistants is something that I'm really passionate about. And I think it's really important that you're able to hire them and hire well-qualified ones in order to scale your e-commerce business. I do have a link in the description below for a free virtual assistant course, as well as a link to the site we're going to be talking about today. And I have the CEO with me, and his name is Nathan. What's up, Nathan?
Tyler, what's up? Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, yeah, man, for sure, for sure. So yeah, I want to get right into it and just basically ask, what is your site and what does your site do? How does it add value to us? As dropshippers, etc.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm a longtime e-commerce seller and a longtime dropshipper. I started dropshipping years before I even knew it was called dropshipping back in 2008. And I sold over $25 million on Amazon. And the reason I was able to do that is because I hired really great people. And I was 20, 21 at the time. It was really tough to get a 30-year-old to work for me. And college kids were pretty unreliable. So I turned to the remote world, the Upworks, the Fivers, the Freelancers, the virtual assistants. And I got pretty good at it, but I always wanted something faster. It just took me too long to go through 100 applicants, interview them one by one. And even if I made a good hire, if they ended up quitting on me, I was right back where I started interviewing all these people again. So I kept looking for a faster way. And when I couldn't find it, I built it myself. So 3 years ago, we launched the FreeUp marketplace, and that's FreeUp with 3 E's. We get thousands of applicants every week, virtual assistants, freelancers, agencies from all over the world. We vet them for skill, attitude, communication, let the top 1% in, and then make them available to you quickly whenever you need them. We have over 100 skill sets from Amazon to Shopify to digital marketing, web development, US and non-US, from $5 to $100 an hour, and fixed prices too. On the back end, my calendar is right on the website. People can contact me. I also have a team of my own virtual assistants that cover my Skype, email, live chat 24/7. So if you have even the smallest question, issue, concern, we're always there. And we have a no turnover guarantee because I know how frustrating it is to find someone you like only to have them quit on you. Rarely happens on our platform, but of course it's real life. It could. If it does, we cover replacement costs and get you a new person right away. So that's really what we're all about: the pre-vetting, the speed, the customer service, and the protection.
Nice. So that's kind of what you're saying makes you different than from like the onlinejobs.ph or the Upworks or the Fivers is the fact that you're going in and, well, not you personally on every single one, but your team, I guess, is going in and vetting each of these employees, making sure, there's somebody that you would want to work with, right?
Yeah, not employees. I mean, we're a marketplace for virtual assistants, freelancers, and agencies. But yeah, I mean, we're the main thing are those 4 things. We're pre-vetting them. We're quick. We fill requests within a business day. You don't have to browse through 100 people. And to me, that's the key. It's the speed. I mean, anyone can go and keep looking for weeks until they find someone, but you're never going to get that time back. And then I mentioned the customer service and the protection as well.
Yeah. So what do you think? Because like I said previously, I'm really passionate about hiring VAs and putting together teams and stuff like that. What's been the biggest challenge for you over the past, however long you've been running your e-commerce business and this website? Because you said you have virtual assistants now, and I know you mentioned turnover, but in terms of like finding good VAs or having VAs that in the past maybe that you didn't vet as well as you should have. Have you ever had any issues with any VAs not being not on your side? I'm saying just in general that have worked for you, not be trustworthy, or like what kind of things can you say you've experienced with virtual assistants?
Yeah, and it's probably the most common question I get asked is like, how safe is it? What are the risks? And honestly, I've never had a serious issue, knock on wood. And I've hired hundreds of VAs for my Amazon business. FreeUp bills 14,000 plus hours every week, and we've never had a serious issue. And I'm sure if we bill enough hours, eventually something will happen. That's just real life. And of course, you're using VAs at your own risk. You're using the FreeUp platform at your own risk. But there's always going to be risk. I mean, being an entrepreneur is risky. Selling on Amazon is risky. Even if you hire your best friend to sit right next to you, there's always a chance that they do something stupid or jeopardize your business in some way. There's nothing that I or anyone else can do to make that risk zero. But what I will say is it's so hard to get onto our platform. Once they get on, they care so much more about growing their freelance business and getting more clients and providing for their family and growing their revenue stream than they do about jeopardizing your business in any way. And yes, you can have LastPass and give them user permissions and have them sign an NDA, but are you really going to chase them across the Philippines over an NDA? Probably not. But the biggest thing you can do is just build relationships with the people that you work with. I think that's something I've been able to do since the beginning, and that's the real way to reduce your risk.
Yeah, I agree. And that's something that I reiterate a lot when it comes to virtual assistants, what you're talking about risk. You're not going to be able to scale your business if you don't have any risk tolerance at all when it comes to hiring employees. So it's like you're giving up that security blanket a little bit, but at the same time, you have to do that or else you're going to be a slave to a computer forever. And eventually you're going to run out of your own time and you're not going to be able to scale your business without hiring somebody else. So this is something that I just reiterate over and over and over again to people, is exactly what you're saying. Like you have to just be able to handle the risk and know that there's a reward with that risk, which is the scalability and the freedom that you gain from that. So just to address the pay rates on your site, because I know we do have some people that will watch this video and more than likely they're going to say, I would never pay $5 an hour for a virtual assistant. I pay $5 an hour for some of my virtual assistants, especially my manager. But what are your thoughts on that pay rate? Because they go on the online jobs and they see $2 an hour, or they go on to, Upwork and see $3.50 an hour. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. So first of all, we're a marketplace. The freelancers are setting their own rates. If you negotiate below $5 an hour, that's fine. If you agree to a fixed price, just like you do on onlinejobs.ph, and the freelancer agrees, that's fine. It's not like we're setting the rates, and it's not like we're taking someone who's $2 an hour and charging you 10. Our fee is 15% with the $2 minimum per hour and 15% on fixed prices. So there's really two reasons that on the website, we don't go below $5. Actually, three reasons. First of all, we're just trying to capture market rate. That infographic doesn't mean anything. The freelancers are setting their own rate. We're trying to capture what the market is. And it's not just the $5 to $10 an hour people who I consider the basic level VAs, the followers, but we also have lots of mid-level US and non-US mid-level specialists that are in that 10 to 30 range, that are bookkeepers, graphic designers, writers, and we have the experts that are the 20 and up, and we have agencies that charge thousands of dollars a month. So we're not the onlinejobs.ph where you're just going for the cheap of the cheap. We've got a full range of people. And in that infographic, if you go to freeup.com/pricing, we're trying to capture the market, and we're constantly updating that, and we get feedback from people all the time, and we're tweaking it. But the reason that we stay away from the less than $5 people is they typically tend to be newer VAs, and they tend to not get through our vetting process. And the ones that do, our theory on getting someone in that $1 to $3 an hour is it's great short term. You save a little bit of money, but the second that they get a job for 4, 5, 6, they're out the door. And we don't want that experience for our clients. If you're going to invest not just your money, but your time into someone, we don't want them to get a job offer outside that's $2 an hour more, and then you have to start all over again. I mean, even though we'll cover the replacement costs and we're happy to do it, there's nothing we can do to get you that time back. So those are the real reasons that it's that 5 to 10 range for the non-US Filipino standard VA. But again, if the VA is willing to go lower, it's completely fine with us.
Yeah, and that makes total sense from that perspective of why you wouldn't want to hire the $1 to $3 people. I mean, I left a job for a 5% pay increase, so I totally understand if somebody was just getting like a 40% pay increase, why they would leave. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It's probably mostly inexperienced people who, once they do get some experience, they're going to leave, and that's an issue. Let's see who we got. We got a small audience tonight, but hopefully some people will watch the video later. This person said they hired their first VA from Upwork. She's a godsend. Well, congrats, David.
Great.
But let's see what else. Getting married is more risky than hiring a VA. That's pretty funny. You agree with that? Are you married?
I'm not married, so
Okay.
I guess we'll find that out at a later date.
All right, sounds good, man. Well, appreciate everybody who's in the chat. I want to ask you some questions too, because it sounds about dropshipping, because it sounds like you have some value to add there with $25 million in dropshipped products. Have you been doing retail dropshipping?
So yeah, great question. So first of all, I got out of dropshipping last January to focus on FreeUp. FreeUp surpassed our Amazon sales. Amazon wasn't necessarily growing anymore. I mean, we were doubling the first few years while we were doing it for the first 5 years. It was great. We got over $5 million a year, and we were drop shipping baby products. They weren't our products. And eventually we kind of weren't building our brand, and FreeUp became a lot more fun. I get to speak on podcasts and YouTube channels and go to conferences and build the brand of FreeUp. So I made that decision at the beginning of last year. But when I was going back and doing it on Amazon, I mean, I got in at a great time. I got in at 2008. I did start off drop shipping from retailers and eventually went around the retailers and started working with the manufacturers. And I got in at a time where the manufacturer didn't really know what Amazon was. They didn't realize that it was such a great avenue for business. So I was able to make exclusive relationships. I was able to build awesome partnerships of people that would make the product and ship it for me, and I would handle the rest from there. And I don't think drop shipping is dead. I mean, I have plenty of clients that drop ship. Can you drop ship the same way I did in 2008 to 2010, 2012, 2015? Probably not, but there's still plenty of opportunity there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you were probably working with way higher margins than what we're used to seeing nowadays with the most popular suppliers. Walmart is a very, very competitive supplier, whereas maybe 5 years ago, it was so easy because there was so much less competition. That's pretty interesting though. But I do like the fact that I'm guessing the dropshipping was your first serious entrepreneurial gig.
Yeah, I mean, I always joke I've never had a real job. I had some internships and summer jobs when I was in high school and college, but I started drop shipping when I was 20, and I really started off buying people's textbooks. I used the summer job money to buy people's textbooks at the end of the semester and resell them. And once I had these textbooks and I was selling them to different bookstores, one day I came across Amazon and they started giving me better and better prices on these books. And I opened up my own Amazon store. And then I realized, wow, they sell more than books, and let's start experimenting. And I tried everything that a college kid, a college guy would be into, from sporting equipments to DVDs, video games. And for whatever reason, I just failed over and over and over. And the only thing I could get to sell were these books. And it wasn't until I kind of branched out of my comfort zone and found that baby product industry that my business really took off. So if you can imagine me as a 20-year-old single college guy selling millions of dollars of baby products on Amazon, that was me.
That's pretty awesome. I'm jealous because I always said I wish I had started this in college. And what's interesting is I actually had a book buyback company in college. So I would just buy people's textbooks and then send them off to people who were actually selling them on Amazon. Like I was basically just a contracted book buyer. They would front me the money, and then somebody else would, like that company would sell the books. But
was it called Better World Books?
I don't know what the name of the company was that I was contracted out to. It's funny because I found them through a Craigslist post, and I was like, this can't be real. And then they sent me $10,000 to my bank account, and they just trusted me right off the bat. And I bought the books, and then I got paid later, so it worked out. But it was interesting. It was a company based down in Florida.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember some people like that came to my dorm room and they offered me like 10 cents for some of my $200 books. And that kind of pissed me off. And I was like, oh my God, I can get better margins than that. And then everyone started going to me.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Well, it is really cool though to see, because everyone always asks what is life after drop shipping like, or, what can we do after this? And it's cool that you took, your experience with drop shipping and working with virtual assistants, and, you let that roll into this website, FreeUp. And now you're able to help, hundreds of people, it sounds like, a week with having pre-vetted virtual assistants, which is huge, because a lot of people, which I've talked to just because I've given away my free virtual assistant course, a lot of people are just afraid to pull the trigger because they don't know how to vet a VA. They don't know how to actually hire them, what websites they should use, whatever. So, I mean, that is awesome that you were able to take your experience and now help so many different people.
Yeah, I tend to stay away from the mainstream. I mean, when I got into Amazon, there were no courses, there were no gurus out there teaching Amazon. It was brand new. And now I feel like everyone's trying to start an e-commerce store or a marketing agency or sell a course. And here I am growing a marketplace for freelancers. So I try to stay away and try different things. And I encourage people to do that same thing. I mean, learning from people is great. And a lot of times you can learn what not to do, which saves you a lot of time and a lot of money. But as an entrepreneur, don't lose that creativity of trial and error and low risk and high reward situations. And that's how some of the best opportunities come.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, like, why I started giving away my virtual assistant course, is because I told people that experience trumped a course. And so I didn't want to make somebody pay for a course when I could just give them the basics and then they go experience everything they need to experience in terms of like actually working with a virtual assistant and getting comfortable with that. Because you can tell people what to do and all of that, but they're not going to feel comfortable doing something until they've done it themselves, in my opinion.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you wanted to, I told you this was going to be a short one. So yeah, is there anything else you wanted to say or, get out there before, any advice, anything like that before we ended this?
Yeah, so a lot of people fall into the trap. I mean, hiring is hard. So you make a few bad hires and then you find someone you really like and you load them up with everything. And I did that back in the day. I spent months training this one person only to have them quit on me my first day on vacation. So learn from me. I'm really fortunate that I learned that lesson in year 1 and 2 and not year 5, 6, 7. But as you hire, as you grow, as you scale, make sure you're diversifying. Instead of hiring a customer service person for 40 hours a week, hire 2 for 20, 25, and have them cover for each other. Really don't make anyone in your business irreplaceable. And when you do find someone that becomes an important part of your business, ask them if they like working for you. Ask them for feedback, get information, and do everything you can to keep them.
That's good advice, man. I appreciate you coming on my channel. And as Nathan said, he is available to, I guess, do you talk to every new signup that wants to start using your site? Is that?
I mean, it's not mandatory to talk to me. My calendar's there if people want to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you're just available if they have questions, they can reach out on your site. And again, there is a link in the description below. It is bit.ly/dropshiptylerva. But again, I think Nathan's going to give me a better link than that eventually. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on my channel. And I really recommend that you guys check out this website. Hope everyone has a great night. And thanks again, Nathan.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.